welcome back to InREAlity, the newest show here on my YouTube channel, and I hope you enjoyed our last episode, which was our pilot episode, and today we are going to talk about very, should I say controversial, or maybe not. It's about your salary. We're going to talk about salary and all things money, because I know a lot of you have been asking, is this a good salary? Should I accept this or whatnot? And I have my two very special guests for today. In fact, our special guest from last episode is going to join us again today, 𝙤𝙨𝙤𝙤𝙤, and also my other good friend, Alec. Alright, so let's meet our guests for today. Let's go!
Alright, hey everyone! Welcome to our show once again, and please welcome our special guests. We have Alec. Hi Alec, welcome back.
Hi everyone.
And
Glad
𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙤,
to be
hello.
Hi, sorry.
I know you guys, this is so difficult to film because 𝙤𝙤 is laughing. No, but I think we need this kind of icebreaker because our topic is a bit on the serious side, but we hope to make it as relatable and as fun, hopefully, as possible. So before we begin, make sure that you share and like this video because I'm going to have an ebook giveaway later. Just make sure that you watch until the end because you're going to have to comment at least one key takeaway and lesson that you've learned, including your name or your username. And I'm going to announce it on my Facebook page and my community page on YouTube after 24 hours. Okay, so let's begin. Just a little bit of introduction. The three of us went to the same company for so many years, and we're all on the same team, and we've experienced so many things together. And so I think that this topic is rarely talked about, but is something that we need to talk about. And a lot of people are asking me about this as well on my comment section or even messaging me asking whether or not they should accept this kind of salary. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Now, I'd like to start with this. I feel like this time there are two camps. The first camp is this group of people who choose to still not disclose their salary. Like it's purely confidential. You cannot ask me about it. I'm not going to tell you. That's camp one. And then camp two is the group of people that is open to disclosing their salary, or these people feel like we should openly discuss salary now. It's 2021 and I think everyone can benefit from it. Which camp do you think you're in? Let's start with you, Alec.
I am on the camp of people choosing not to disclose salary.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want, should I explain why?
Yes, please.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Well, salary, knowing someone's salary, I believe, creates tension and division between two employees. Because when someone finds out how much money the other person is making, it can sometimes lead to them not thinking that, hey, we're doing the same job, why are you getting paid? It creates division. It makes the other person not, or demotivated because he or she found out that somebody else is getting paid more than them. So that's the main reason why I'm on the camp of not choosing to disclose the salary because of that situation.
Right. Great. Thank you, Alec. How about you, 𝙤𝙤?
So, yeah, I guess my first question would be sharing to whom? I mean, is this sharing with a friend, sharing with a colleague, or sharing with an employer? Because I guess it really depends on the situation. Like, if you're a new applicant, I guess it is important that you share your, not really sharing the exact amount that you're getting, but really it will some sort of like a basis for your new employer, like when they offer you the job. But when it comes to sharing with a friend, I guess it depends on the level of relationship as well, because I have shared my salary with some of my friends
Mm.
because I had to, I have not shared this with family, but yeah, it depends on the level of relationship, the level of maturity, that both of you guys have. No, and no, and also, I mean, the reason why you had to share. But
Okay.
if you're only going to share it just because, then I guess that's
The
where,
brag.
conflicts would most likely arise. Yes, well,
Mm.
like I'm gonna share. I'm earning 100,000 and I'm this. I'm doing this. I think it's unnecessary. So yeah, it
Yeah,
depends.
true, true. I agree. In my case as well, I don't think I have ever shared my like exact salary to anyone, but rather
Um,
the range, right? The range or like
Even the range.
no, I rather I share the range of
Oh
the
yeah,
amount
yeah.
if needed, and I agree that it depends on to whom you're actually sharing it. If you're game to share, because it's just been a long time ago, how much was your first ever basic pay in your BPO company, not including other companies that you've worked
Oh,
with?
in the BPO.
Yeah. Um,
I joined the BPO in 2007,
okay.
and I was offered, I guess, 12. Like
12,000.
if
But
yeah, 12 or no, it was actually 9.
Oh,
Should
okay.
I mention the company? Yeah,
Let's not
joke.
do that. Okay,
it's
let's.
not
Yeah,
the
I
same
started
company where
with
you came
9.
But
from.
we know what it is, though.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
okay,
It
9,000
was
basic
9.
pay, and
Yeah,
then including all the benefits, let's say, like all the
yeah.
allowances.
Or no, I don't. To be honest, I don't remember what the benefits were, but
Mm,
um, I remember looking at my first ever payslip, and like that's what appeared on
mm.
the payslip. Yeah.
Okay, you Alec.
I can't honestly remember, but I think it's about the basic now, which is like I think 12.
That's
Yeah,
But it's
high.
all-
I think we
that
started with the same company. So
yeah, it's not the same with you. I can't remember.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
12,000 pesos basic pay, so
yes,
that's minus everything else. But then, Alec and I were profiled for a financial account, which
yes,
has like an add-on of 4,000 pesos. So
exactly. So
we're
the
really getting
basic part,
16,000.
yes, we were getting the 16,000, but yeah, I guess the basic would be around that amount, 12,000.
Mm,
Plus, it was so like decade. I mean, not decade, but so long ago. I can't
What
really.
yeah.
what year was that?
Oh, Mahoyer
2008.
2007, 20,007,
Oh wow,
2007,
wow.
Alec 2008, and mine 2009. So just
2009.
imagine long ago, long time ago in Bethlehem. So super long
That
time
there's
ago.
like a huge difference there.
So
Yes, there was a
12,000
jump.
pesos, and yours is 9,000, Makoy. I think that's very low.
What?
But
Yeah.
yeah, so just giving you guys, to everyone watching, just giving you a ballpark of say how much we were paid before, years ago, and we'll see later on if these figures are still fair. These figures are still fair, or these are still like livable wage. We'll see. Okay, now for you that time, Alec, do you think it was enough for your like kind of lifestyle?
Well, as a single person living in a shared room with my siblings,
Mm,
that I actually believe that was enough. That was
mm,
enough at that time.
yeah.
I had enough for savings. I had enough for utilities, and I have enough for extracurricular activities. So yeah, that was enough for me.
Mm. About you, Makoy?
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, that was better than nothing. That was better than zero.
Yeah.
I came from, yeah, I really come from a very poor family with, we really had very limited resources. I had to send myself to school, so I know
Mm,
how it feels like to have zero income, and
yeah.
then suddenly, like, you finally found a job. It's paying you 9,000, so that's way better. So I even consider that a blessing. So yeah, I
Okay.
guess that was it. More than enough for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And back in 2009, I was a fresh graduate. I was 20 years old. I was moving to Cebu, and 12,000 pesos is was
Yeah.
really already a big,
It
a
was.
big amount. And then when I found out that it's gonna be 16 because of the additional 4K, then I thought,
16 is so big.
yeah, at that time, it was already like, whoa, okay, I was
I
gonna
can
go for
feel
it.
the bitterness. Yeah.
And for a fresh graduate, it was like, okay, I can live with this. And yeah, I was able to
Yeah.
save as well that time. I was able to send some funds to my family back in my hometown. So
Mm.
let's see. But right
I
now,
guess
okay,
that's where the difference is. I'm sorry. I guess
what
that's where the
difference?
difference is. Because when I started in the BPO, I did not really
Mm.
get the chance to send money home
Oh, okay.
because I only had 9,000 compared to you
Mm.
guys, So I guess that's the difference between two of us, three of
Mm.
us. Yeah, if I that
Yeah,
makes sense.
exactly. Like
Anyway,
in terms of like our situation or circumstances that time.
yeah.
So right now, what do you think should be the basis of one's salary? And I'm asking this just for context because a lot of people would ask me in the comments, is this enough salary? I'm a fresh graduate, but I have no experience. Or I'm a high school graduate, no experience. Or I'm a college graduate. Is this going to increase my salary if I tell them I'm a college graduate? And we're talking about the context of BPO and mainly, I guess, contact centers or call centers. What do you think should be the basis? You want to start, Alex?
Okay. Um. Okay. Just wanna get that clear that the basis is. I'm sorry. The context is a newly hired employee, no experience, college graduate or not, or something like that. But again, no experience, no skills.
And
I
single.
think yes, and single
Not
or with
necessarily.
family.
Not
Okay.
necessarily.
All right.
I think the salary should be adjustable based on performance after a trial or a period of time during training. So let me explain.
Hmm.
There there is a basic pay, and that's common throughout all companies, depending on an entry level position. Now, for me, if for example this person showed promising results and is adaptable, can be fully trained, and shows progress after the probation period, I think there should be um, a discussion on whether to increase the person's salary or basic, dependent on the performance that he or she portrayed.
Mm.
For me,
Yeah, so more on like performance basis, regardless
performance
of,
based.
okay, so regardless of whether that person has a college degree or whatnot, right?
Yes, exactly. That's something that a lot of new hires or a lot of people that's starting with the BPO industry, sometimes they equate or they use their college degree as a basis of salary, but sometimes in the
Mm.
BPO industry that doesn't apply,
Yeah.
because in this industry it's mainly about results. Can you produce the
Okay.
results?
True.
So even if the people are hired, or even if the people that got hired are not college graduates or just high school level, as long as it's under their requirements,
Mm.
but can show results, I think that person should be paid equal to the performance that he showed.
Mm. Yes, I totally agree. About you, Makoy?
I th- I don't know. It's difficult to answer,
Yeah.
considering that you you need to factor in lifestyle, um, you know, not just skills but also lifestyle, the cost of living. I encountered this article from NEDA. NEDA is, I don't know what NEDA means, but they're the ones.
National
I don't know
Economic
what's NEDA.
Development Authority.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, right. And then they released this article, and they said that if you're a person with a family of four, I guess, and if you're earning below 40, then you are considered poor. So, um,
Below 40,000?
below 40K a month,
Okay.
40,000 a month, then you are considered poor. So if you base it on that, um, I don't know. I don't know how to identify even, as to how much the entry point, I mean, how much the entry level should be, because it also, uh, you should also take into consideration how big the company is. So it's like, um, I could not say any figure, but if you're gonna ask me, is, let's say for example, if the entry level now is at 24K uh, a month, and if you're gonna ask me, is that enough as an entry level salary? I think it's not, especially if you have a family,
I
you know.
agree.
Uh, so, however, if maybe you're single, you have just graduated, then 24 is fine, So I don't know, maybe I'm not the right person to answer that
Yeah, but we're
question.
just discussing for the purposes of this
Yeah,
discussion.
yeah. But if
That
I
was
were
a
to, yeah, if I were to really um uh somehow come up with a figure, I would really base it on lifestyle and cost of living. Not lifestyle like luxurious lifestyle,
Mm.
but really, are you are you even able to eat,
In a certain
three
location,
times
for
a
example.
day,
Okay.
right? I mean, is your salary just for survival, or is your salary really for, comfortable living? So I would really base it on that.
Those were some really good points raised by both of you, and I think that we're merely just discussing because unfortunately we don't have our own companies, so we really can't
Yeah,
decide. But I agree though about number one is should be also based on performance, and then when you're actually entering the BPO industry, I would say more of the skill set as well, or the role that you're applying for. So entry level, yes, they'll have the same basic pay. But then if you have some sort of experience that is really beneficial for the role that you're applying for, then I also think that there's kind of like a premium for that, which I think a lot of
yeah.
BPOs are also doing. Like if you have, say, five or more experience,
Experience.
the BPO, you have a premium or
Yeah,
something like that. And
yes.
also going back to what McCoy mentioned about lifestyle or cost of living, which is probably why salaries in the NCR region or Metro Manila is maybe so much higher compared to in Mindanao or in Visayas. So do you think that is fair that the basic pay is different from or is different in each location? You think so?
it is fair in that sense, but what's actually happening now is,
Mm.
example, NCR, I mean, Metro Manila has a higher level of basic salary compared to
Mm.
Davao, when in fact prices are the same. I mean, so
Yeah.
that's that part, it's unfair, but I'm for the, that you really need to, what you call this, match the basic salary versus the cost of living in
Mm.
in a location based, category. So
Yeah.
there.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But
Yeah.
don't leave us because we're going to have a quick commercial break just right after this to support this channel. And we'll be right back. Make sure you tune in because we're going to have a giveaway for all of you. We're going to choose three winners.
Oh.
It's not a cash giveaway, it's an ebook giveaway. So stay tuned after the commercial break. And we are back, everyone. We're going to continue our conversation, but before that, we are going to have our ebook giveaway. So make sure you just comment your name, your username, and what is one key takeaway or lesson learned that you have with our episodes so far. Comment below. This is going to run for 24 hours. So it's published 6 p.m. Then it's going to end tomorrow 6 p.m. I'm going to announce the three winners on my Facebook page and my community page here on YouTube. Since McCoy mentioned some figures earlier, most newbies now, okay, based on my research from different Facebook groups and also my own group and the comment section, the basic still seems to be entry level, 12,000 to 13,000 pesos, regardless of where they are. Maybe just a little bit bigger in Metro Manila or the like core, what do you call that? Maybe the let's just say
Major
in
cities,
IT
key
park, yeah,
cities.
yeah. Like in Cebu, there's IT parks. In Manila, they have like
Yeah.
key location. Um, so do you think that is enough in 2021? For total newbies,
No.
right? Okay,
Even if you're new, no. Like 12. Well, it
12 to
depends, but
13K.
no, still
Wherever
no.
you are, what about you, Alec? Do you think that's enough in 2021?
Is that
Uh,
an updated figure though? I'm
Yes,
sorry.
it is
that's
updated
based on her.
based on uh, recent posts
BPO?
on BPO Facebook groups. They're actually asking, I was offered 13,000 pesos basic pay. Is this enough?
Oh.
Yes.
Is this
So,
from a big company or,
yes,
like
actually,
a new startup?
it's from a big
Serious? Oh
company, like
wow.
a popular company that I'm not gonna mention. So what do you think?
What color? Joke.
What about you, Alec? 'Cause
I'd have to agree that that's not enough, especially with the current situation that the world is actually experiencing. Um, I think it should be higher
mm,
than what you
Yeah.
quoted.
yeah, I totally agree. But now this is kind of the, should I say, dilemma or whatnot, because people are
Conundrum.
is that like a Harry Potter thing? Anyways, because people are crowdsourcing, so of course they will depend. Somehow they will base their decision on the people who also have experience, right, in those BPO companies. So some people are saying, you know what, girl, entry level newbie, don't choose
Choosy.
anymore. If that's what's offered to you, then you better just accept it because it's so hard to find a job nowadays. So what do you think about that? Is it just beggars can't be choosers, or no, even if you're starting, even if you don't have any experience, you deserve to be paid a bit higher than that? What do you guys think?
I mean, you know what you want. You know what
Mm-hmm.
your lifestyle is.
Yes.
So as soon as you know, I guess, that the entry level basic salary is only at that rate, then why would you still apply?
Uh-huh.
I
Yes.
mean, you know,
Or
so
accept it.
if I were, I can't choose because I know what I want. I have my goals in life and I know my skill sets.
Okay.
So, so so there, I guess it's just fair. However, 12, 13K is definitely not enough, seriously, as a basic pay, even when you're a newbie, because, like one sack of rice is 2K already.
True.
And then you have like 30 days of working, and the budget is like 500 a day. So, if you do the math right there, it's not enough.
Just imagine, we've talked about how much our salary was years ago. That
Yeah.
was 2007, 8, and 9, and we
Yeah.
received
Should have
9K,
How
increased.
many years?
9K,
Yeah.
12K, and if
Yeah.
right now the basic is still 13K, then where are we in this civilization? Haven't we improved, right?
Right.
So what is
Inflation is
happening?
almost at 10%, I guess,
Right.
over the 10
So
years.
what do you think, Alec? Definitely 13K. And what if people will tell you, you know what, don't be choosy. Good for you because you're offered that. While me, I'm just waiting to be accepted. Because a lot of people would say that.
It actually is dependent on the person applying. As I agree with
Mhm.
Papoy, if you have your goals, if you know what you want, why choose something that pays less and it's not even something that
Yeah.
you like?
Yeah.
Um, I definitely do not like the statement that people say that you can't choose. Why
Yeah,
choose? reg- Uh,
exactly.
with the pandemic and whatnot, it's a blessing to have a job or
Mm.
being hired. It's not sometimes about being hired alone. It sometimes
Yeah.
has to be something. It has to be what's going to happen when you get hired,
Yes, true.
Yeah.
because
Yeah. True.
it's not all about the hiring part. It's about what happens to you after you get hired. So it's definitely going to be based on you, the employee, or the person applying for the job.
One thing I've learned, I guess, through the years, you're only going to get what you're willing to accept, something like that,
Yeah,
right?
I get
yeah.
that a little bit.
Like if you, yeah, like if you come from zero, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
You'll
and then
accept
you
Yeah.
get a
5,000.
13, that's that's fine. That's fine. But see, if you have invested a lot of years for yourself
Mm.
and investing on your skills, then you need to like you need to have a benchmark.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
You have to put yourself on a pedestal sometimes just to
Hmm.
just for the company to respect you. You have to respect yourself enough to say no,
Yeah.
that's not I've worked
Yeah.
Yeah.
hard on myself to have the skills. I'm not
Yeah,
just
that's true.
gonna but just to add, sometimes that's not the case. For example, for me, I realized that when we started with 12K, and right before we resigned from our previous position in the BPO industry, that 12K was not the case anymore. It definitely went up. For
Mm.
my case, I accepted a position um, based on happiness or
Mm-hmm.
based on something that's not going to make me insane.
Oh.
Happiness net. Happiness
that's
net. Yeah.
that's gonna make me insane. And the basic part was not a factor for me alone, because I know that I'm gonna gain more experience, I'm gonna get more
Mm.
experience, and I actually like the job that I applied for, I got currently. So whether or not the amount of money that was presented to you at the beginning, sometimes it changes.
Mm.
And as long as you are ready and you are happy with the position that is being
Yeah.
offered, I guess that's okay in a way,
Go for
but
it.
make
Yeah.
sure that again you put yourself first and make sure that
Yeah.
it's right for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And
Like
even
the
if you
amount
don't
of
have,
money is just one aspect. Just that's
yeah,
just one part of it.
Yes, it's
yeah,
one
true.
part of
Yeah.
it.
And I guess even if you don't have a work experience before you apply to the BPO industry, just also think of the times when you actually studied in school, or that
Yeah.
also counts, right? Your
Yes,
university, you've paid for that, so you don't have work experience, but you have a university, you have university units, so you've actually learned something from school that you can also apply to
Yeah.
your future job. So yeah, I think we're settled.
yes.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, you're going to have to decide what you're willing to accept, and depends on your lifestyle, your the cost of living in your area, and your personal
Yeah.
goals as well.
When I joined the BPO, my purpose was not really just to earn, but
Mm,
I did not have, I had plenty of time in my hands since I was
okay.
an irregular student. So it's like, what else do I have to do?
Oh.
I could not be a standby forever.
Yeah.
So at least I have to do something worthwhile, like additional income or something. So when I joined, it's the purpose was to only not really kill time, but make time worthwhile somehow while waiting to graduate. So there.
So let's continue our conversation, and this is a very exciting one. Let's talk about the money mistakes that we've made when we were younger. We've pretty much like grown together in the company with the same team. We go out all the time. We're travel buddies. So, what do you think? Well, working in the BPO industry, Alec has a trust fund. um,
Yeah,
Alec has
I
a
still
trust
remember the
fund.
amount.
I'm gonna explain what that
Okay,
was.
now what have you realized? So, okay, let's phrase it this way. What do you think is like one of the biggest money mistakes that you've done or you've made while you were still working in the BPO industry? So, Alec, let's go. Let's go for.
Only one.
Oh, so you have three.
I'm gonna make it short or quick, basically, but I'm gonna give as much details as I can. Um, One thing that I wanted everybody to know, that when you get hired and you get the basic salary that you see on your job offer, sometimes you might think that that's not gonna disappear or you're not gonna use it up. And with that mindset comes the painstakingly mistakes that you might be doing the same as I did. I had credit card debts. I had used money differently, or to be precise, use money that I do not have aside from the credit cards. And that's because I had the mindset that it's going to come back because my basic or my salary is this.
Mm.
And it doesn't factor in the utilities or the things that are unforeseen that
Mhm.
you have to pay for. And that's why you will get into debt easily if you do not change your mindset about money. I've read. I am not sure if it's from Chinky Tan. Is that Chinky Tan, the
Yes,
financial
Yeah.
guru?
Mr. Chink
That
says
you,
it.
yeah, that you spend the money that you have after saving rather than spending the money and then saving the what's left or something like that. And I did the exact opposite of
Income
that. I
minus
spent,
savings equals expenses.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I spent. I had a very luxurious, not really luxurious, but
You
I
know
had
why?
a good
Because you felt like you were Serena Vanderwoodson.
That was
Serena
the time
Van.
of budget,
That's
girl.
the that's one of the basically my mindset was like that actually.
Yeah.
My
That's
mindset
trust
on money
fund
was
mindset.
like that. Yeah, because as well, Rhea has mentioned, I have a trust fund, which I actually really don't. The trust fund is basically I trust my parents to have enough funds to basically pay for everything that I did back in
Yeah.
I
Cebu.
didn't know that.
It
You
kind
did not
of
know that.
worked for a couple of years. So that was my trust fund. But that's not the case anymore. But yes, basically, the main thing is your mindset on money. Change your mindset on money. Just because you received 16,000 for your very first pay doesn't mean that it's gonna be there all the time. Save for rainy days. Save for rainy days
Wow.
because sometimes that happens often. And if you're not prepared, you're going to go into so much debt continuously until you get exhausted at your job, which is not something that should
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
Because
True.
that's one of the reasons that will demotivate you. Debt.
Yeah. To get to the point wherein you're just working for money and you're just working because you need
Yes.
money.
Yeah.
True. How
Yeah,
about you,
From
Makoy?
exactly. And
paycheck to paycheck.
that's a feeling that I don't want you guys to have.
True.
Yeah. I pretty much have a smooth sailing journey when it comes to
Same.
money management because
He's the most saver
um
person.
like
Yes.
it's not even that. I mean, it was accidental. It's just that that was a natural consequence. Like I mentioned earlier, I came from a very poor family. I mean, and I know how it feels to not like have to not have things, and money. So I guess that somehow instilled fear in me, and I don't want to go back to that feeling anymore. So it's like as soon as I got my first salary, um, then I learned how to really budget. Because
Mm.
yeah, like what Alec mentioned, I really have to save for the rainy days. So I'm not as materialistic, because I was always on survival mode
Mm.
those years. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
it was like my decision making was always anchored on what's going to happen if I decide things wrongly. So, and the fear of not having anything anymore, the fear of not being able to eat
Mm.
properly is so big, is so heavy in me that I don't ever want to go back. I
Mm.
don't even want to wish it for other people. So I guess that helped me a lot. So, and I only had to rely on myself. So parang so um so so that somehow really highly motivated me to not be careless and reckless with
Yeah.
money. So I tried working in a fast food chain even before the BPO. I was earning like only 5K in a month.
Mm.
Even that I learned how to budget. So
Okay.
um and then when I progressed up to BPO and I earned a bit bigger, then I learned how to really appropriate, like the money and allocate things accordingly. Uh, and it's only when I got to our company that I really get to splurge, to travel, and
Yeah.
spend for a lot of shoes, because that was
Wow.
my fixation. But before that, I was really controlling myself because I did not ever want to go back to
Mm,
that feeling. So my success indicator was, like if I'm no longer borrowing money
mm,
to for transportation, for food, then that's my success indicator that okay, I kind of I'm able to solve that part of my life.
yeah, nice.
And yeah, that's when I started to really invest in insurance and in investment plus insurance. I mean,
Yeah.
I was so fortunate enough to be approached by a person who really talked about financial literacy when I was 25.
Mm,
And she
that's good.
explained to me the value of preparation. But yeah, and that's when I really started saving. And when I lost my job, because I resigned and I could no longer retract my
Mm,
resignation, that's why I moved to our company. That's
yeah.
that's when it hit me that like I really have to save for the rainy days. And what helped me survive in that 3 month period was my investment. So
Mm,
I did not borrow money anymore. I just took it from my funds.
mm.
So yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah,
Did I make
that was
sense?
yeah, that was
Yeah.
such a nice story from both of you, and some wisdom. And I think mine was really
Yeah.
just to spend more than what I was earning. I felt like what I was earning was just
Yeah.
okay. I could buy the things that I wanted, but there was also this time when, do you remember Alec, the lending company just below our
Yes.
office? What's that called
Yeah.
again?
What's that again?
Casualty something.
Mm,
YK?
Not the YK something.
G Globus.
Oh yeah, Globe Bus.
A
Yeah.
Globe West.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, special mention. Well,
Hashtag Globe West.
I
I
took
sorry.
out a loan. I took out a loan because I wanted to buy a new phone. Yeah. And then so they had to get your ATM, right? And that was when I
Yes.
felt like I
Mm,
couldn't control the funds anymore because you'd have to get the money first before you could actually get your salary. So that was one mistake. And I after I've paid off that loan, there was not only one. I think there were two loans. I told myself I'm not gonna do it again because I want to have control over my
yeah.
money.
Yeah. By the way, talking about
Yeah.
mistakes, I guess one
Yeah.
huge mistake that I really had was on credit card. It wasn't like
Hmm.
I was, what do you call that? What's nang nalubong in English, but it wasn't like I was,
You're buried in debt or something.
Yeah.
yeah, I was buried
Right.
in death. I was buried in death. It wasn't that, but it was more of, I did not understand the terms
Okay.
of the
Yeah.
credit card. So I was like kind of just using my card for the points because
Yeah.
that's what
Okay.
Jovan said. Jovan, that's what he said.
Special mention.
And then, but I did not really understand how it worked.
Mm.
And then that's when like unknowingly I was like consuming the whole thing. Seriously, it was just some technical stuff, but it
Mm.
wasn't like I made that mistake just because of being materialistic or like overspending and just splurging. It wasn't that. So yeah,
That's for
Yeah.
me too on
there.
the credit card. When I got my credit card, that was me too. I
Oh
didn't
my god.
understand
I feel
the
like
Right, like
I feel like
finance
Alec and
charges, the timing
I
of the payment,
we
if you
grew
move into like
together.
a
the
6 month
timing.
installment, yeah, the
Yeah.
timing, yeah.
Exactly. And I remember that Alec and I got our first credit cards together and at the same time as well. Like, guys, credit card. It's
Superstars.
so easy to apply. So like, I had to apply. But anyway, those are so very inspiring stories that I'm sure viewers can relate with, especially those who have been in the industry for a long time. But even those who are still starting, uh, sometimes you get surprised with the amount of money that you receive, even though it's not that big, but because it's the
Yeah.
first time you've received
Yes.
that kind of money. But then you also have to make sure that you have a budget for everything. Now, we all have, okay, one thing in common, I think, okay, regardless of how you view how big or small your salary is. But back then, surely for the three of us, there were companies who had bigger offers. But
Yeah.
we
Mm.
decided or chose to stay in that same company even though we're not
Oh,
really paid as much. we were we were just we were okay,
to be honest with you, I was okay with my pace. Seriously.
and that's good, right? But
Mm.
there were times when like we were complaining, at least for Alec and I, because maybe
Yeah.
we had a
Yeah.
different situation, just to give everyone a better context, because McCoy was an external hire. You did
Yes.
not really
Oh,
start from the very bottom, which is taking
we
calls.
didn't have the same rate.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Alec and I
we did
started
not.
when we were customer service agents, and then we got promoted as lead trainers. So we had different rates. So what do you think, at least for you,
Yeah.
Alec, what do you think we lasted that long, even though there were some points when we were complaining about our salary, like, when are we going to have our increase or something like that? What do you think?
Yes, that is an experience that I do not want to think about. But yes, um, yeah, because you hear stuff. That's the reason why I answered earlier to not talk about salary, because again,
Mm.
that creates that
Oh,
rift,
yeah.
Mm.
that rift, knowing that the same company on a different building is earning much more than
Yeah.
the ones who got attained by the company. But there are two things that comes in mind. The first one is growth, because when I
Wow.
started, I saw growth. It's not something that, when you're taking calls, you can see yourself as the peer coach, which I became. You can see yourself as a trainer, which again I became. And you can also see yourself as management, and that's something very important, because if you cannot see a future in the company, why are you there? The second one would be, it's going to be mushy, but again, it's always been friends inside the company. You
Yes.
get to have friends that will keep you sane and will go through tough times and happy times together. And that actually makes a lot of a difference when it comes to deciding whether to stay in a company or not. Because most of the time, they stay because of the people that they're around with.
Mm.
And sometimes as well, they get motivated by the amount of money that they're going to get on a different company. But for me, those are the two things that made me stay for 7 years
Mm.
on a company that's been acquired 3 times.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Pretty much the
So
same. And in my case, it was good at the beginning because I entered the BPO industry single, and then I got married, I had a kid. So everything really changed so much. And midway through, I felt like it was not enough anymore, but there were no opportunities for increases. So that was when my personal like battle was going through, like, should I stay or not because of the salary. But I think one
mm,
reason that made me stay really was also that it was already my comfort zone. Some sort of you're so used to what you're doing that moving to a different company may mean you have to embrace a lot of different things, and I didn't
yes,
want
it
that
does.
discomfort yet at that time, which I've learned the hard way. And I think that if you have a better opportunity outside, then you should actually go for it. I think so, no matter how hard that would be. And also, yeah, and that comfort zone includes the friends that Alec was talking
People.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, the people around you, and mainly because it's kind of exhausting to start all over again. But I think what I can say is that if you're offered a better opportunity and you've researched it properly, that I think you should go for it,
Now,
right?
sometimes new is better.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for sharing. And now I guess I want to know from you guys.
McCoy,
Um,
Yeah. It wasn't too much of a stretch for me because I've only
yeah.
been there for 2 years. So it's like
Yeah.
it was fine.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Compared to Alec and I for like 7 years.
But to answer that question, it's really still people. I mean, that's my first answer. People, even up until now. The only reason why I'm
Yeah.
staying is because of the people and the
Yes.
culture. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, how much of an impact does salary have uh, on your decision to accept a job offer? If you
Now,
have to, yeah, for example, if you have to prioritize it,
wow.
which part does it, come through?
wait,
It's
McCoy.
bigger. Before when I was younger, I did not I mean, income wasn't. It did not. How do I say this? It's so hard to English myself, but
Tagalog
income
yourself.
was not really a big thing. I don't want to sound very hypocritical and very away about this, but income wasn't because, like I said, anything that comes to me, I'm gonna take it because
Yeah.
that's a blessing.
Mhm.
Because seriously, I sorry, Alec, we're not gonna go to that part, but yeah, I'm gonna take it because it's I really consider that a blessing.
Okay.
Um, so income before it did not really take a big percentage of my decision making. When I applied for jobs, it's really the environment, it's really the people and the culture, and basically the job. What do you call that? Description.
Yeah, okay.
As long as I'm passionate about that job description, then I'd go for that. Because in terms of income, I definitely can find ways on how to, um,
Supplement that.
yeah, I know how to budget. So, but if you're gonna ask me now, and with my experience, with my skills, and me looking at my true economic value, I guess income is second to environment. Um, I'm not even just looking at. I mean, if we're going to rank,
Yeah.
first for me is really culture
Mhm.
and like direction and environment and all that
Yeah.
people because I'm really relationship oriented. That's how I work. Second is income. But if you ask me like 10 years ago, income was like way siguro, I mean way at number 5.
Uh,
But yeah, income is second because I consider myself a breadwinner now,
mm.
and I want to make sure that if I jump ship or something like that, then the lifestyle will not change. I'll still be secured and all that. I still be able to provide for the family that I support and all that. So there. So
Yeah.
second is income. So if I'm going to jump, I'd say it has to be 40% more,
Okay.
40 to
Makes
50%
sense.
more of what I'm getting. Yeah, annual. So
Annual, okay.
that will be my deciding factor. Yeah,
So, everyone who's
gross.
watching, if you want to hire McCoy,
50% gross.
40%.
Yeah, if you wanna hire me, just message me on Facebook.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, makes sense,
But the
McCoy.
asking, yeah,
How about you, Alec?
the asking percentage that he's asking when if he jump ship is actually, um, it's actually justifiable for me, I believe.
Right.
Yeah, so it's up to you and how you value yourself. So if you
Yes.
value yourself more than 40%, then make it so because the
Yes.
companies are the right company will hire you
Yeah,
because
that's
of
true.
that. Yeah.
That's true.
Well, for me, I would have to basically agree with McCoy and have salary as the second priority over um, culture, or
Mm.
the totality of culture, environment, people, and stuff like
Totality.
that. I actually a word that I have not been using for a while now, but
I miss
basically,
that.
um, I actually accepted a job here in our city that is definitely less than what I was getting before, but I
Mm.
can see growth. I am okay, or I like the people that I work with. It's a new experience. It gives me skills. It gives me purpose, and I think that's the main reason. The salary part is it's there. It's definitely less, but as long as I can see that it can still grow, and the people that I work
Yeah.
with are same, and the environment that I work for is still, um, it gives me or improves me in other ways, then I definitely have salary as a second priority.
Yeah, 100%. I'm the same actually. I will not take like something that I don't like or will crush my soul
Yeah.
just because it pays a million
Yeah.
dollars or more.
You have to be at least a little bit passionate of what you're doing in order for you to not go insane.
Yeah. So there
Right.
has to be a
Right.
balance between what you are actually willing to take and what you can take for yourself and the amount of money
Right.
you're getting. So definitely
Even your
culture
in existing
salary.
sorry, even in your existing job,
Mm,
like even if you're not gonna jump or something like that, I guess
yeah.
that is also one factor that you also have to look into because for example like you are earning much but how much of yourself are you losing in the process because
Yes.
of
True.
the amount of work
Yes.
that you do.
Yeah.
So is
Not
it still
worth it.
worth it,
Yeah.
right? So
Exactly.
if I'm gonna get insane just because of like what this amount, then yeah, I'm totally gonna drop that. So
Yeah,
yeah, I guess
I
that's
get
one
it.
factor, and
Oh, that's
and I guess
nice.
that's one factor to decide to whether to
Leave.
leave or to stay. Yeah,
Yeah, that's nice. We are all on the same page, and
we're adults now.
remaining meeting time is 3 minutes. So let's
I
wrap this
believe
up
that.
with your advice, you guys. I'm such a, I'm a poor person. I don't have, I don't have a pro plan. But your advice to people deciding on whether their salary, the salary offered to them, is fair or not, or right or wrong.
It's definitely going to be how you value yourself. So know
Yeah,
what value you have or what value you have. Know how to value yourself, and you'll be able to decide if the salary is right or wrong. As long as you know yourself, as long as you know what you can provide, who you are, and what you can do, then the right company will definitely hire you for the right amount of money.
Yes. Thank you,
That's
Alex.
from me.
Yes, Mahoy.
yeah. It is important to me that I'm passionate about what I'm doing.
Mm.
So I know salary is a very important aspect because that's what's putting food on the table. But that's not all there is.
Yes.
It is important, yes, but I guess what's more important is your purpose. What is your goal? I mean, it has to be very clear to you because, if you're gonna just join a company or an organization just because, and still, it's the level of satisfaction that you get, and income is just a part of it. To
Mm.
me, what's important to me is that I'm satisfied at least 80% on all levels, like culture, environment. So you have to have that checklist.
Mm.
If you think income is very important, then go look for a job that pays you really well.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
if that is your purpose and if that's very clear to you, so yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
income is not everything.
Just to summarize everything, I guess we all need to evaluate our situation and where we
Yeah.
are at currently, and if that salary offer would best fit our lifestyle, our goals in the
Yeah.
future. Also, not to the point that you will just accept whatever's in there. I think that people should also believe in their capability more and that they can do more, not just accept it just because that's the only thing that's there. Uh, I think you still have a choice even when there's a pandemic and there are still so many other opportunities out there that would pay you just not, maybe not entirely as big as you imagine for the first time, but at least something that gives you a fair compensation and benefits. Maybe the basic pay is not that big, but the benefits are good, right? And that can also
Yeah.
like add up
Right.
to your entire
Yeah.
compensation and benefits package. So we have less than 1 minute left for this episode, and I have learned so much. I'm sure our viewers have learned so much as well. Everyone, don't forget to comment. What have you learned? One key takeaway and lesson learned, and you'll be entered to our ebook giveaway that I will announce after 24 hours. So I'd like to take this chance to thank Alec and Makoy um, for sharing their stories and their personal experiences. I'm sure they're super valuable. Thank you, guys. So
Thank
Thank
you.
I look forward to our next travel because we haven't done that in a
Yeah.
while.